So as we do on every preview show, we start off with our rankings. So we start with the ACC is going to be 14 through 1. We don't do conference specific as far as Coastal and Atlantic. What we do is we break down the 14 best teams in our poll, and we do it from 14 to 1. Number 5, we've got Duke. Now, this Duke ball club is a conundrum to me. Monty, I'm going to let you break this one down a little bit for me. Duke at 5 here. They could be 1. They could be 10. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Well, when they lost Luke Fox in the fall last year and Jonathan Santucci in March, they really had to scramble a bit and adjust the way they were doing things. And they were basically starters were only going about 3 innings towards the end of the season, and then they'd really depend on that bullpen. And that resulted in getting a lot of experience for these young, talented arms. And now you've got Jonathan Santucci back, and he's a legitimate first-round draft pick. Fran O'Shell, who was a dominant co-ace of the bullpen, looks to be moving into that rotation. So you've got as good a 1-2 punch if O'Shell can make that jump into the starting rotation as you've got in the conference. Now, you've got a lot of talent. You've got James Talon returning as the closer, Andrew Healy, Aiden Weaver. Those are 2 guys who have really good stuff. Andrew Healy, a third guy. All those guys had some starting experience, even though they were only going 3 or 4 innings. So you've got that, and then you've got a really talented freshman 2-way star in Kyle Johnson coming in, who could also push for that. So you've got the deepest pitching staff, in my opinion, in the conference, even deeper than Wake Forest. Maybe not as top heavy as Wake Forest, but I think they've got the deepest pitching staff in the whole conference, and that's why I had them, I think, at number 2, because that pitching staff is just so deep, and they've got enough stuff on offense, I think, that really makes the boys. They've loaded up with transfers. Wallace Clark from Oklahoma, going to be their shortstop. Bravo from Harvard, Zach Morris from BMI, Ben Miller at first base. So they've got a lot of good guys, but then they brought in a really good freshman class. I really like the Mason Winslow, who's a catcher by trade. He'll probably see some time at DH. So they've got a lot of really, really good pieces. I think the offense is going to do enough, and then the pitching is going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Stone, best returning player, right, a catcher. So kid's not going to get a chance to catch many games, but there is a lot of talent there on this team, and they brought in a ton. Santucci coming back, I think, is the key, right? That's a Friday night ace that you're locking in the ACC. Noah, what else do you like about this team? We know about the bullpen. Anything else we want to add on to this Duke roster?
The day after the college baseball season ended, I made my Omaha 8, and Duke was one of those 8 teams, and I still have them as one of those 8 teams. I'm a massive believer in this Duke team, and I think Monty hit it on the head. Those challenges that they had to overcome last year have now made tough players, which is something I always say, that close losses make tougher players. I think that's really a brilliant phrase that you can kind of just spit at any time and not look like a total moron. But Chris Pollard is building a monster, and we've always kind of been waiting for Duke to break the ceiling and get to Omaha. We've seen them 1 win away now against Virginia and Vanderbilt in obviously 2 different years with 2 completely different teams. So this is a dynasty that he's kind of building, where he now needs to take it to the next level and get to Omaha. And I think that he has some nice offensive pieces to go with it in Devin Obie and Tyler Albright coming back. That would be my only concern, is can they score those runs to compete in the ACC where you score 1 million runs? But they certainly have the pitching to shut some of those offenses down. It's going to be a great time to be a Duke baseball fan. Coach K, who? It's Chris Pollard.
This is a baseball school now. We're excited here for Duke at number 5. A lot of pitching. Duke number 5.